Organic chemistry is a huge and exciting subject.
But to make it easier, the basics are portioned off into bite-sized chunks.
So where do we start?
First of all, we need to introduce you to a concept that will make learning and understanding organic chemistry much easier: the homologous series.
A homologous series is a series of compounds with the same general formula and functional group. This is the part that gives a molecule its characteristics.
Let's start by giving some examples of homologous series. There are alkanes, alkenes, alcohols, and carboxylic acids.
We mentioned functional groups, so let's have a look. Alkanes don't have a functional group. Alkenes have a carbon-carbon double bond. Alcohols have an OH. And carboxylic acids have a COOH.
That's interesting. Why is there no functional group for alkanes?
Because carbon-carbon single bonds are very strong. Alkanes are relatively unreactive.
Let's look at alkanes.
Alkanes have the general formula CnH2n plus 2. Now let's have a look at the naming system. We can use the formula to tell us that if we have one carbon, we will need 2n plus 2, that's 4 hydrogens. This is methane.
The same formula is used for 2, 3 and 4 carbon chains and so on. For instance, with 2 carbons, you need 2 times 2, that's 4, plus another 2, that's 6 hydrogens. This is what ethane looks like.
We could do exactly the same for propane and butane. We can keep making longer and longer carbon chains, but seeing as the alkanes are a homologous series, they all have similar chemical properties, so we don't need to.
Now let's have a look at what these alkanes do.
One of the most important chemical reactions involving simple alkanes is the substitution reaction. Watch what happens to methane, a carbon with 4 hydrogens, as it reacts in sunlight with chlorine.
Gradually, the hydrogen gets swapped out or substituted by chlorine atoms. The displaced hydrogen then bonds with some of the remaining chlorine to make hydrochloric acid. But this is a gradual reaction with a number of stages and various products. Let's take a look. We'll come back to alkanes later, but first it's time to look at our video on alkenes.
This is organic chemistry and this is Science Rocks.